sit down and do it just to.
Well, first pull your shoulders back, like extend your chest open this way. So like don't think about pulling your shoulders back together this way because it's too much. Like if you are pinching your shoulder blades this way, you're using too much of your traps. And this isn't really a nice look. It's exaggerated and it can look kind of pretty, but it also you can tell that it's too much and it's too exaggerated. So think about expanding from like the center, like your sternum. You want to imagine that your rib cage is opening up, right? So from there, hold that position of that open rib cage that's opening this way, not this way or this way. Keep that in mind. Very important. So once you're there, keep your shoulders in that position. So hold them there with your lats and bring your arms out in front of you. Now bring your wrists inwards and your elbows inwards. This is the general frame for us followers for West Coast swing. So you can now move your hands around this way, but this general place of your elbows and your forearms should stay the same. So no matter what my leader is leading, like I am almost always in that position of elbows up and it's like tricep kind of almost touching my rib cage on the inside right here. Did you want to go over frame for them?
Yeah, a couple quick things on that. First of all, there are different styles of frame for follows. She has a more rigid frame. I like that. She likes that. We think it's very functional. If you look at Sarah Van Drake or Victoria Hank, those are also follows who have kind of a more set frame. I think it's a great place to start too. In terms of the spreading, it's extra important for you just because if you turn your triceps in, I feel like a lot of people do this a little bit. So spreading here is a good thing to like keep in mind almost primarily. For leaders, I tend to think about spreading through the collarbones and the shoulders tends to help a lot of guys. Maybe this, I don't know, some people just project too much through here and it ends up, even if it doesn't look bad, it'll end up kind of stiffening you up in terms of like the movements you can do. So spreading open this way. The other thing, just kind of the functional perspective of the squeezing back thing, I think frame is super individual based on your own like flexibility. So if I'm, and I don't have great posture, just standing and walking around, if I am trying for a really big open frame, if I need to be squeezing back all the time just to keep my shoulders here, that's bad. So like if my muscles are always pulling, it's gonna affect the connection, it's gonna affect like, again, the things I can do, my mobility of my body. So do get open, but it might even be your shoulder might be a little bit forward here. It's still better to try to hold this position with your lats tight rather than trying to drag everything, you know, because it'll carry over into things you don't want it to carry into. I was looking at you a lot. I'm not targeting you. You're just making really good eye contact. So yeah. So yeah, and like as you stretch out more, as you just spend more time dancing and more time doing this, it's gonna help with that. And as for the opening thing, another cue that I just like, and I don't think there's like one cue or method thing that we should tell everyone, but if you think about your elbows, leaders, like kind of pulling them back like this, and then almost imagine you're using them to push your chest open. So like opening your ribcage from your elbows, this is, I feel, a cue that kind of gets you to use your lower traps, so kind of like down between your shoulder blades, not too much up here, again, like she said, but kind of like down and back this way. So more toward the center of your body, it's not just your lats, it's the muscles here in between your shoulder blades as well. And like this, and then, of course, having the frame from there, then actually brought it to your fingers too.
Cool. So I'm going to go on the drill, whatever it's called.
Cover and fold.
Okay, nothing about dip. You guys can do it with me. What?
Yeah, that's everyone try this.
What you're going to do is you're going to draw your weight on your straight leg first. So put your heel over your standing leg, over your foot of your standing leg, not over your standing leg. So now you're going to start putting weight onto your leg that's on top. And before you swish your other foot, you're going to push it out and transfer all your weight to that other foot. I really like when someone brings their leg up afterward because it really shows that all your weight is on that other foot that you just put down. If you cannot lift up your other foot, then that means you didn't transfer your weight fully. So then you pull that around and you bring it on top. You do the same thing there. And then you pull it around. And then you do the same thing again. You pull it around. So you should at some point be able to do this without like your upper body.
That's the key. If your posture changes, if your pitch changes, like if you need to kind of do this to balance, that's kind of like, well, I mean, it's not the point of the drill. Like the point is to force yourself to keep almost like a shared balance point, and you're just going to change your legs underneath you. I hope this looks good because I haven't done this drill in years.
How slowly you bring your foot down matters a lot too. This is how we start controlling our foot articulation, is how slowly that foot moves to the ground. Ready?
Cool, that's nice.
Oh, all right, Robert, thank you. So you can do this at any time. Do this while you're at work. Do this while you're shopping, whatever. It's really good to implement this in general. Yeah.
This will also naturally give you a little bit of a forward pitch. You don't have to stick with this as your basic dance posture, but it is going to give you a little bit of that kind of up and forward over the middle of your foot position. And again, some of us prefer to be more back, but this is still a great drill just for balance. And again, foot articulation, you should be able to balance here even if you're not dancing in this position.
Because you will enter that position throughout your dance.
Yeah.
Especially in spins.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Is that the problem with bent legs, that I'm not transferring my weight all
Yes.
day?
Exactly. And then, so follows, something that's really important for you, and it is something that comes up a lot in novice and intermediate actually, where follows don't quite make the connection that they need when they're in closed position. So when you're in closed position right now, your ribcage should be directly over your hips, and then that should be slightly behind your knees. So there should be some minor type of, or not even necessarily minor, because it varies from person to person or partnership to partnership, but amount of leverage when you're in closed position. So he should be able
I
to
should be able to
move
feel her
my
in his
ribcage.
hand. So it's not like, so
You
it's not
don't
like we're
wanna
just
be
standing
here.
here. There
Because I
is,
can't feel him now.
there is,
Especially you don't want to be here, because then you can't feel that. I mean, if you're pitching, you're still going to have to create some form of. Did you see that little bit of extra leverage that I created there from that pitch? I like to be straight up, but you can also be here. Either way.
so in terms of us leaders, we should be prepared for this. Again, not all follows or kind of give us this, but like as we get into close and as she starts applying energy, you're applying energy before we start here. As we get into close, it's like we start here. As I feel her start to sit back, I am going to want to counter that. So like my head goes back a little bit, my body goes back a little bit, because if I try to stand straight up while she's doing this, that's going to happen, right? So if your fellow does apply pressure to you and you're not opposing that pressure, like pushing with your legs, pushing your hips back, not a great situation.
You guys can try this together if you want as well. Yeah, you guys are already
Yeah,
on
people.
it. If you want to
Somebody
get a
did.
partner, you can.
And like she said, this is how we communicate weight transfers. Like this is, we can move the rib cage from here. If I'm switching my weight, like I can move it side to side.
He's doing all this. I'm
in
not.
and out. Yeah, she's just kind of chilling. But she's not relaxed. She's very tight, and that's what's letting me communicate to her hips from my hand. Leaders, a lot of people say to put the knuckles on the side and just close your mouth with the fingers. I would say that's an option, just because not everyone teaches that. It is possible to reach around with the whole palm. I would say this is a preference thing. This is going to allow for a lot more support and almost like leverage in this position. If I wanted to like tuck out or something like that, I can apply a lot more energy. And maybe if I felt her like giving me a lot more weight, you could reach around a little bit more just for that support, or I don't know if you're going to use some kind of move to start off.
One more thing on that. Follows another point of connection here that you can create is from your bicep and their forearm. I always push down here to create an additional position of connection, because leaders who don't do a good job of connecting here, you can always connect with them here.
Because if you don't do that, and it's like the guy that's kind of standing like this.
Yeah, you just have it up, and like it's a lot harder to feel. Wait, go ahead and lead me from here without that. Like I'm a lot slower to react, like a lot slower.
Quick point on this follows, do remember to let go of it. So if you keep this,
Yeah.
if you keep this and I try to tuck out, I'm like, I guess we're going around again. This actually happened to me once last night, and I was like, okay, all right, we're doing this again. I'm going to use this hand. So hold it, but like let go when you're actually about to go somewhere.
That was it for me. Did you have anything else?
I don't think so.
Well, thank you guys for coming.
Thank